The turning point of Christianity, the Protestant Reformation. Catholic versus Protestant conflicts since 1517 even spread to Far East Japan. In 1549, Catholic Jesuit missionaries came to Japan for the first time. Jesuit is a Catholic organization and is said that established for Counter-Reformation. Counter-Reformation means literally countering Protestant Reformation, that the religious and political challenge to the Catholic Church and, in particular, to papal authority. Catholics needed to gain believers throughout the world to counter Protestants. In so-called the Age of Discovery since 15th century, two treaties between Spain and Portugal divided the globe on their own. One of them, the Treaty of Zaragoza, in 1529, decided that Japan is a controlled area of Portugal. Jesuit was the organization having the backing of Portugal, so came to East Asia. One of the founding members of Jesuits, and the most famous Catholic missionary in Japan, Francis Xavier. In 1542, he arrived at Goa in India for propagation. His work was hard there because counter of Islam which prevailed in advance, and incomprehension of doctrines of residents. As these days continued, finally Xavier met one Japanese in 1547. This was not an accidental encounter. This Japanese Yajiro heard Xavier's rumor and had been seeking him. This was the discovery of Japan and Japanese for Xavier. For Japan, it was the fatal opportunity to contact the Western spirit world for the first time. This Japanese, Yajiro, said to Xavier, "Japanese are the people those who to be led by reason." In Xavier's letter, before the departure to Japan, Xavier said, "I thought the Japanese must have suitable aptitude for our divine teachings." Some Portuguese merchants also recommended that propagation would make good progress in Japan rather than India, because Japanese are so reasonable and have an appetite for knowledge. Xavier and Yajiro set off a journey to Japan in 1549. After a 4-month voyage, they arrived at Satsuma, the homeland of Yajiro, today's Kagoshima Prefecture. The Lord of Satsuma, Shimazu Takahisa, is the first Japanese feudal lord who used guns in the war. Gun was brought from Portugal, and saltpeter, which an ingredient of gunpowder, had been smuggled by Portuguese merchants, so he welcomed Xavier and his party. Other feudal lords in Kyushu area also attracted Portuguese merchants to secure saltpeter. Additionally, some feudal lords not only permitted to propagate but became Christian themselves and were given Catholic names such as Francisco. In Kyushu area, Catholic theological schools were established. At this stage, Japanese Christian population exceeded 100,000 among 12 million estimated Japanese population in those days. Alessandro Bargnano, who came to Japan as a Jesuit visitor, in order to nurture Japanese priests which would be in charge of the coming generation, he sought to dispatch an envoy representing Japanese Christian feudal lord to Rome. In 1582, Bargnano left for Europe accompanied by 4 Japanese Christian boys. They were entertained by Felipe II, King of Spain in Madrid, and had an audience with the Pope in Rome. In 1590, they came back to Japan. A movable type printing press as per the designs of Johannes Gutenberg they brought. It contributed to publish Jesuit Mission Press. However, in 3 years before their return, political ruler in Japan, Toyotomi Hideyoshi issued an edict expelling the Jesuit missionaries. As for those 4 Japanese Christian boys and boys, one of them died of illness while still young, another was expelled to Macau, another was executed, the other abandoned his religion. Why did it turn into this kind of situation? I will explain about that in next video.